Well, hi, I'm back, everybody, and got a few things that I think that we need to talk about and address. You know that I've been going through this energetic purge. I'm not really sure what you want to call it. It's spiritual, it's been physical, and it's been pretty rough. There was a lot of smoke inhalation when my boat caught on fire. So a lot of that's been coming up. Of course, I smoked for years and years and just quit recently. Very hard thing to do. Anybody out there that's struggling with that, you have my support in it. It's not easy, but there's a lot of things going on in the world that we need to talk about. There's too much hate. And people that say, no, this isn't hate, a lot of them are fooling themselves because we have to realize that the actions and the words we use when they're not of love, what are you supposed to perceive them as? When someone speaks their truth, if it's not the same as yours, if their opinion is not the same as yours, does that mean that you go trying to fire them down and you try to bring them into line with you? Well, that's like trying to convert them, and that impedes on free will. I'm really, really just tired of all of the stuff, especially on Facebook posts. I've got where if it's political, I just zoom right by it and look for pictures of my granddaughter and of friends and the animal videos. They're great, especially the ones where animals are interacting with humans, showing the camaraderie between different species. Not just animals and humans, but of different species of animals as well. So the other day, I was just fed up with all of the mean, ugly stuff being said. And so I posted on my Facebook that this was going to be a hate-free day of posts and nothing but encouraging, thought-provoking, positive material would I post on my page. I got some really, really great responses to that, and I thank all of you that made comments to me, that used the response buttons to say so. I used to try when I saw these posts, especially, the ones about the president. I don't care who you're supporting for president. I truly don't. All I ask is that you show your support in a positive way. And a positive way does not mean to tear down another. I don't care who you're supporting or who you're against. What a positive way means is you put up there that you support this person, that you encourage this person, and maybe bring up some of the good characteristics of your candidate. That is the proper way. Everybody talked about how it was so terrible about, oh, Donald Trump acted like this on D-Day and everything else. You know what? You just took away from respecting the true meaning of what those men went through. When you put Trump and his actions, I don't care what they were, in front of what these men went through and what their cause was truly about, you disrespected. So you're doing the very thing that you're accusing him of doing. These are the things that we have to change. And that means looking at ourselves, accepting things that we don't want to see. God knows, June, how much I've had to accept, especially over the years, how much I've had to change. And it's not been an easy process. And I'm sure, 100% sure, that there's more to come. because every day is a step in our evolution to become what we are, our true nature of what we truly are, our true essence. You know, I've had 102-degree fever. I've been coughing up just masses of blood and tissue. The regimen that I've been going through has not been easy. But what that tells me that I'm coughing up this old tissue is that new tissue is growing. And no, this has not been from anything to do with modern medicine. This is all what I call earth medicine. And somebody that not only do they give me advice, but they send me healing energy, and it's authentic and true. We have to help each other, and sometimes that means pointing out, you know, hey, do you think you might need to look at this? Maybe there's something to look at there, and you might want to make a couple of changes, you know, do a little inner work, and then you have to back up. Sometimes they want to engage you, and whether they are or not. I just had that pointed out to me the other day, and I'm going to go ahead and say who told me. Carrie Ann Sanders of Quirky Cosmo. I was having a discussion with her about a situation, my situation, and she said something that, wow, it kind of got me kind of bristled, and she could feel it immediately. She says, look, nope, I'm going to leave it right there because I can already feel your back tightening up and everything. And, you know, I sat and I thought about it, and she was right, and this isn't the first time I've had to admit that she said something that got me bristled because I needed to take a look at something. So if you can book any kind of session with Quirky Cosmo, I advise 100%. She's going to be 100% honest and 100% authentic. And if she says you need to look at something, she says that in love. Remember this. So I did step back and look at it, you know, over the next day or so, and realized that, you know, she was exactly right. And there was a perception there that I needed to change. Wasn't easy for me to do necessarily, but it does get easier with time, because when you realize that you aren't perfect, you realize that looking at these things and making the changes is the healthy thing to do. You don't need to take another's voice. You don't need to interject your opinions on another. You don't need to shove your beliefs down their throat. You can give them the information of what you believe, offer them that, but you have to leave it at that. And, you know, where you might be trying to push somebody and really, oh, no, this is what you're feeling and this is what you need to do, because I've been guilty of this too. And you have to come to sometimes the reality that what you're doing is projecting on them what's going on within yourself. And let me tell you, that's a hard one to accept, because then you have to go and apologize to the person, and here comes ego. But you have to work on that. Excuse me. Still not 100% better, but getting there. So, in this thing of, if you're watching mainstream news, come on, guys, get away from it. They have an agenda. In my opinion, I don't have a whole lot of faith in any politicians whatsoever. That's just me. You might. And that's your opinion. And I honor your free will. But what you've got to realize is that there is an agenda. What happens is, while they're talking about this and that and the other and distracting, you don't see what's going on over in the corner. When someone comes to you and just tries to tear apart what is your truth, you got to kind of step away, if they will allow it. And the reason that they're doing that is because they're starting to question their truth. And when they question their truth, then what happens is They just want to exist in the dark so that they can't see the other things around. Because if they have questions about their truth and they just push all of those questions underneath the carpet and turn the light off on it, then they're living in the dark. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of people hurting, not just physically, but energetically, spiritually, mentally. We need to stop the name calling. We need to stop the threats of violence. We need to stop the condemnation of another's beliefs. We need to stop trying to humiliate one another. We need to stop this vicious cycle. You can do this if your response isn't one of love and respect. Then it's one of coercion or hate, pick the emotion, pick the energy. These things hurt to look at. We have ego involved in ourselves, in our whole makeup. Today was Eddie's birthday. Eddie died in 2000. Well, no, Eddie didn't die. Eddie transitioned in 2016. Eddie was larger than life. All his life, Eddie was abused terribly, physically, emotionally, spiritually, energetically. How would it feel to have a 6 foot some inch man beat the hell out of you as an 8-year-old child? To be always told that you're not as good as your brother, to be humiliated, to be treated as not just a slave or a servant, but as just lower than low. Eddie was wrongly jailed for quite a few things. He did say that some of the stupid stuff he did do. He did admit to that. But there was a lot that he didn't do, that people that were supposed to protect him, they put on him even though they knew it wasn't true. And that's not okay. But when he got out, he was marked. Someone spread the word, be careful, Eddie's back in the neighborhood. And Eddie was the most helpful, loving, fun person. He would help anybody, even if he didn't like them. And I say didn't like them because, usually it was because they had wronged him, or he knew that they were wronging someone else, or whatever. The people that were supposed to protect him abused him and tore him down terribly. And yet he still expressed love up until the very last day. He had started to set boundaries, but he expressed love. And this is the person that so many saw such a light from. So many depended on. So many admired, and so many miss. Do you see the wrong perceptions of society that pretty much destroyed this man's life? But he came back. And I remember the day that he left. He was hurting. He had a few concerns on his mind. But you know what? The last words that he said to me were, I love you, baby, and I'll see you in a little bit. Be ready when I get here. He had asked me to go with him, and I didn't. I had work to do. I got tired of finding my horse at the back door every time I came out. But you know, if I'd have gone with him, I wouldn't be here either. I used to say if I'd have gone, maybe he wouldn't have had to leave. But I think the truth was that that was a moment when I told him, no, I think I need to stay here. There's more to do. But even when he disagreed with somebody, he didn't try to force them. He walked away from it. That's who Eddie had become. And let me tell you, if somebody can come through that much hate, that much abuse, and be that kind of person, I think we all can. He had taken some difficult looks within, and he had made some changes. We both did. We helped each other. And he didn't try to shut down somebody's voice. If it wasn't for him, he just walked away from it. He didn't tolerate watching another abused, but he didn't try to force his opinions on other people. He wanted other people to like his opinions, but he didn't try to force or convert or coerce or manipulate. Well, maybe he did try to manipulate a little bit in some cases. But Eddie just wanted everybody to be good to each other. He used to say that if when he left, what people remembered was that he always tried to help and that he loved with an open heart and that he brought laughter and good times, that he couldn't ask any more for them to remember about him. So, what do you want people to remember about you when you leave? I want people to remember that I worked through, I overcame, I evolved, I loved, I supported, I encouraged, I helped to heal, that I was honest, even about myself, to myself, that I was authentic, that I saw integrity as something that's important. There's a man whose channel just got knocked off of YouTube. And, you know, people find hate in the fact that what he says is that if you want to stop these overpowering forces of government and stuff that don't respect your opinion, simply stop participating. He lives off the grid, permaculture, takes care of his own, raises his family in the old way, respects his ancestral ways, his heritage. Not once has he spoken of violence. Not once has he said, do this or else. But because he opened up perspectives and a lot of people were starting to listen, that's why I believe YouTube yanked his channel. That's my opinion. But you know what? He's got my support because he's had me thinking about things that I never would have thought of before and seeing different objectives. And the whole thing is, if we don't see different people's objectives, then how can we expect to coexist? If your belief isn't mine, that's okay. But at least sometimes I can understand where you come from. I mean, that's perfectly okay. So guys, stop the hate. If you support somebody or a cause or whatever, please post, I support, and this is why. Not, and the opponent can go get screwed, or I hope they blow up, or I want to kick them in the balls. I'm tired of that crap. You are juvenile and infantile, and you are doing nothing but starting fights. You're looking for fights, not looking for solutions. And until you start concentrating on the solution, all you're going to have is fights and destruction and hate. So with that being said, I guess this was kind of a rant. I do ask you all to share. Please share. Please leave comments. Let me know what's going on in your world. If you hate me, well, that's fine. That's your prerogative. That's your energy to live with. If you think my message is crap, let me know you think it's crap. It's your opinion. You're allowed to have it. Free will. But I'm not going to engage in an argument of hate and useless banter. What I will do is respect your right to free will and respect your right to your opinion. And if you have a valid statement, I will definitely look at it with an open mind, because maybe I'll learn something. So take all of this to heart, truly. We have to be authentic, people, and we can't keep on hating. There's a lot to work through in this world, but there's a lot of good coming. I have had the honor of having Sophia communicate with me recently. And what Sophia tells me is that you are held to a higher standard of integrity and authenticity. And the reason that you're held to that higher standard is because sometimes you need to point it out to those that don't recognize that there's a problem. Pointing it out is one thing, but I'm not going to argue with you. What you decide to do from that is on you, because what I'm giving you is my opinion. And I respect you to do whatever you want. So remember, Sophia's communicating with us. All the good things that are going on, the people that are doing cleanups, the animals that are being released into the wild, the conversations about saving our rainforest. Yes, these are still going on, people. These are still going on. There's good things happening. Don't cry over sadness for that. Tears of joy are what you need for that, because Sophia's crying tears of joy because she knows that some of us are hearing her. She knows that some people are taking her to heart. And she loves us very much. She's put up with a lot of crap from us. And I thank so much to my friend, and I'm not going to say her name because I don't know if she wants it released yet, and I do respect privacy. Thank you. Thank you so much, love, for allowing me to receive that communication, for the channeling, for including me in that. I'm so honored. And you have such a beautiful soul and an eloquent communication. And I look forward to the day when you start sharing this publicly on a regular basis. It's much needed. And I believe you can be a strong, authentic voice for Sophia. So here we are at the end. Again, like, subscribe, share. That's how we get the word around. Please do leave a comment. Just touch base with me. And try to remember, look at things concerning yourself with an open mind, because when you do that, you improve. We have to be able to self-analyze in order to improve. I love you all so much. Keep up the good work. Keep evolving spiritually, energetically. And I'll see you on the other side or at the next video.